I want to talk about these pedestrian pathways on the main streets. So usually you have this like pedestrian pathway, and then you have like a red sign, and then in a time lapse a car will pass, and then when the car traffic becomes red, then the pedestrians pathway will turn green. That means the pedestrians can cross the street. But in the past, like 30 or 40 years ago, they used to adopt the tunnels, like pedestrian would go under the street and pass through the street to get to the other side from under it. But the problem is, because it's a tunnel, a lot of criminal acts happens, and then it became like some kind of like drug habit areas, because it's dark and it's like far from people's observations. So what they did is they tried to adopt bridges, like to put bridge on the pedestrian pathways, but then this one also did not work, because you would have to climb like probably like 2 floors, almost like 4 meters. Then you have to cross and then get down 4 meters again. That's because you have a lot of like big trucks, and you have big cars that have like a height of like 3 meters, 3.5 meters. So you have to like climb stairs for like 4 meters. And then what they did is they said, okay, because there's a lot of stairs, not a lot of people are using it, let's put escalators. But the problem with the escalators, one is it's expensive. Two, because it's gonna be in the outside, it's gonna need a lot of maintenance because of the weather and like how many people are gonna use it. So it's not feasible for people. So I wonder if we could come up with a better solution, because as you saw like 1 minute ago, the car traffic turned to green, and then one guy thought, oh, the pedestrians turned green, so he tried to rush into the street and almost got in an accident. So these accidents happens between the pedestrian sign, or like a car would be like ignoring the sign, like his red sign, and he would try to cross the street, and then he would hit like a pedestrian. So I don't know, like we could have come up with a solution where pedestrians can walk and also cars can cross without them intersecting with each other in some way. I think the best way would be if we push the cars down into underground, and then like, let's say like the train, and then people would enjoy the ground floor without any kind of problems. Or probably just canceling the cars in the future, like we stop using it and try to adopt a new way of transportation, more sustainable, more green. I would suggest like forcing people to use subway or buses, unless they have some emergency or some kind of excuse that they have to use a car, then they would use a car. And in this case, you would see a huge reduction in the constructions and pollutions and like car use and cost. And we could use these streets, use like narrower street only for the buses and the emergency cars, and the rest will remain for the pedestrian. So in this case, in this scenario, you could have probably crossed the street at any time, and if a bus comes, then you would just like wait for it to cross, and then you would go. because there wouldn't be a lot of buses, I guess, and a lot of people would be forced to use the subway, which is going to be underground, and you wouldn't notice it if it is there or not. So I guess that probably would be a good solution for the future pedestrian and car conjunctions. All right, let me know what you think, and we could maybe discuss it more later. Cool.